Hello everybody, back here again for a vlog a day, and today is Monday the 19th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning, fairly early-ish, not too bad, not too much going on here. All I have is Remy and Bruce, so it makes it a little easier. It still had to get up fairly quickly because Remy started whining. He heard Mom moving around, so of course he wants attention, he wants out, he wants played with, all that kind of stuff. So got him up, got that taken care of, got him out, got him fed, all the good fun that comes to that. My wife headed off to work, pretty much uneventful. Got a couple things done in the yard, working on a few little things, and my garden hose ended up rupturing, burst a hole in itself. So kind of, I don't know, I bought, but at the time was like the most highest rated garden hose that Home Depot had ever sold. And I did a bunch of research because I get tired of always having crappy, just garbage junk hoses. And I wanted a better hose, so I bought the best hose out there, but it was supposedly kink free and all that, but it's not kink free. It kept kinking. You got gravel and stuff, and one of those spots where the little kink kept happening, it punctured a hole in itself. But it's like a tiny little hole, so it makes for like just a super high pressure stream squirting out. And it like cut a line in my dirt in my yard. It was so high pressure. So I got really high pressure in my house, which is nice until that kind of stuff happens. So kind of is what it is. But I got all that taken care of. I'm gonna I gotta take my father-in-law to the doctor tomorrow. So when he's at the doctor, I'll run by the Lowe's or Home Depot doors closest to me up there, run in and grab one of those little splicer kits, just cut that chunk out, put a little adapter into it, and then basically be good to go and splice it back together. I decided I'm gonna put like an actual coupler in there. So if I want to add an extra hose, because right now where my bib sets and runs around, I just come up short of not being able to quite reach all of my yard with one hose in the back inside the fence. So I'm probably need about another 10-foot chunk of a garden hose. So I'm thinking about just cutting apart an old garden hose and adding like 15 feet to it, and then I'll have enough to reach all the way around. I got a bib out front, and I got a hose that'll reach all the front yard. But the way my fence is set up, there's no real, I don't have like a double gate, so it makes me nervous going out there with dogs and stuff to go turn the bib on and off. And having the dogs escapes, I haven't bothered setting up a secondary gate system, so I don't go in and out of my gates that often. Like when I'm mowing, I just put all the dogs in the house, and then I can go in and out without concern, no worry. So if I don't feel like doing it every morning, I want to turn the hose on and off. So kind of is what it is. But yeah, got that done. Basically, I got a plan at least how to fix the hose. So no big deal. Problem with it is there's like 9 of those spots in the hose that I'm sure each one's going to continue to keep rupturing as time goes on. Because if one went, they're all about the same. It's just when it pinches itself, when it makes that crease, that it becomes a weak spot. So, and the hose is less than a year old. I don't know what warranty is on a hose, so I gotta look. I thought there was something like a lifetime warranty of the hose or something too. I might look into that. I have no idea how you would go about it, because I don't know who made the damn thing. So I don't keep that stuff very well, but had a few other things to get done. Basically hanging around the house, getting stuff accomplished, nothing major. Went ahead and had a meet and greet set up for this afternoon. She'd reached out and wanted to get the dogs watched. And there was a lot of that back and forth of questioning price and how much is for this and how much for that and why is it so much, and that whole kind of thing of like, there was like 5 different texts about price, and then something about, well, we'll discuss it when I get there for the meet and greet and stuff. And I was just like, what the hell? She texted me, and I was on my run, and we were trying to set up a time to do the meet and greet, and it's just, she has it down for like overnight stays, but for boarding, but she wants to do for daycare instead, maybe. I don't know if there's going on, which a lot of times the daycare is actually worse for me, because a lot of the hassle is meeting the people, and they're like, oh, I'll be there at 4 to pick the dog up. They don't show up till like 5:30 kind of thing, or they want to show up at 5:30, and that's when we're trying to have dinner. And it becomes that weird concept of like, do I try and eat and think they're gonna be late, or I wait for them to be late, then eat after dinner, and they turn out they don't show up till 6, and it just keeps, it's all that weird thing. So watching the dogs is way less than half of why I charge what I charge. And she just seemed like a pain in the ass. I was just like, no, I'm good. So I basically sent her a response, basically kind of laying out, hey, I understand that everybody's got a different budget, and I might be outside your budget for price wise, so maybe you know, I wish you all the luck in the world to find somebody else, because clearly this is where it is. Like I've told you multiple times, the pricing, we've discussed this whole thing, and it shouldn't be that hard for you to figure this out. And I kind of laid it out very diplomatically, but very firm of best of luck and piss off. And then she replied back, oh no, I wasn't trying to wasn't what I was after. I was confused and da-da-da. I'm like, you've had a Rover account set up for like 6-7 years or some junk now. Like, you've had a Rover account for a long time. You should know how this shit works. So I didn't say anything, I just let it go. I was like, okay, so we did the meet and greet. She got here, everything was fine. She texted ahead, said she's on her way, all that stuff. Worked out well. The dogs got along good. They're pretty low energy Basset hounds, so they're really not like playful, type things and stuff, but they got along with Bruce. The one had a little bit of an issue, being a little bit like standoffish towards Bruce, but it's not that big a deal. That happens sometimes, especially with big dogs. So we chatted. She was super nice. Got here and she apologized again, meaning the fact she was not trying to get a bargain, but something else was going on there. But it is what it is. So, but yeah, I went ahead and booked it, and then it's just for the next 3 days for daycare. They're getting their new house painted, and they just don't want the dogs running around with the painters and stuff and get in the way. And they don't have a fenced-in yard yet, so they can't kick them out back. So it's one of those things where it's going to cost them, basically $100 a day with fees and all that junk to, not have a fence yet. So could have easily probably worked on getting a fence up a little quicker, but hey, it works. And like she said when she was here, it's basically the whole thing of having some place she feels safe and confident she can drop the dogs off when they travel. Makes a big difference. I know a lot of people want to do that as well. So went ahead and I found out that my wife has a doctor appointment tomorrow. It's about the same time that her father has a doctor appointment, because I was going to take the car because my truck needs a new tire. It's pretty bad, and I want to get rid of the truck, but I don't want to buy new tires, and I hate buying oddballs, but I need to do something with it. So kind of is what it is there. But went ahead and said, okay, we'll figure it out. So reached out, had a daycare of a dog that was supposed to be here just for its first time daycare, and she just wants basically the dog to get exercise and play with other dogs, and then get used to me also, so when she does start traveling longer times, then she can do it. Her son's at home and he can let the dog out, but he doesn't play with the dog. So the dog gets home, and she gets home from work, especially these long days, then the dog wants to be played with, and she's exhausted, so she's looking for somebody to wear her dog down, so you don't have to tax her so much of taking the dog out and wearing its energy out, kind of thing. So but I was like, hey, what's the chance of this whole thing? So I got it all figured out. Got tomorrow ready, so I'm gonna be able to go take her to the doctor. Probably what I'll do is I'll just take the little pit bull puppy with me to go see the doctor with my father-in-law. We'll hang out, and then the other 3 dogs can stay here at the house with mom. It'll be no big deal, because they're old lazy Basset hounds. They just want to lay around most of the day anyway, so not really a lot going on there. And the full fenced yard, they love to lay out in the sun, so it'll work well for that. That went well. After that, I decided, okay, I got time. I'm going to run down, go buy some supplies to hook up the hoses and stuff on my ice bath that I've got. So I got my chiller. It came with 3 different size, I guess nipples or hose clamps, we're going to call it, to hook into it. So I got to figure out how to, basically what size works best. So took down the pieces I needed, drilled some holes in the tank, went up to the plumbing supply store here locally, and found it runs the threads into the drain plug. The stock tanks have a real weird thread that most people don't carry. Luckily they had one, so I got a 90 coming off of it. Then I got to tap into a bunch of stuff, and it's like 1.25 inches. If I want to run it 1 inch line, so I got it basically from there. Went down to the store I like quite a bit, but having out where I can actually look at it and touch it, it makes more sense for me, so I can put the stuff together in my own head. So in that process, I ran up to Home Depot, got a couple items I needed, some great stuff, foam to work as insulation, and some other things there that I'm going to do. From there, plane is super noisy, but went ahead, got done with it, went back to the house, got a couple things, realized I needed a couple more items that wasn't quite the pieces I needed, and I had what I thought would work. Went down to the store I like a lot, has better assortment of hoses and stuff. So went down and bought some hose for it, and I think I got it. I'm pretty sure I got enough. It's just like $5.79 a foot or something, so it's just expensive. But went ahead and got those. Came back, carried also a 10-foot pipe home. I bet he come walking out with a pipe because they had to keep out back. He come walking out with it. He looked at me kind of weird, and I'm like, yeah, everything's a truck. If you use it as a truck, he laughed. So he stuffed this 10-foot long PVC pipe in the passenger seat of the Corvette. And he goes, well, as long as it fits. I said, well, it's convertible, everything fits, So we laughed and joked there. So I headed back home with a giant 10-foot pole sticking at the top of my car, which is always kind of funny. So got back to the house, hung out a little bit, went and saw my neighbor without again that works for G&W. So I talked to him. He offered to patch my roof where it was leaking with some tar. he had the company truck, so I kind of went to remind him that I needed it done. Also asked him to give me a quote on a new roof. They'd been out like a year ago, but everything's changed in pricing and stuff and whatnot, so we'll have to see and go from there. Hopefully he'll give me a quote and he'll come in, you know, if it's near the price, I'll give work to a local neighbor. That's no problem. I assume he works on commission. I don't know how it works at that company, but it is what it is. And roofing's pretty much all the damn same anymore. It's all just BS. So asked him about this standing seamless steel roof, and that was 3 times the price. And I was like, yeah, I can't justify that. That's not worth it, because even if I only get 15 years out of a roof, that's still, at that point, that's 45 years out, and I can't justify this metal roof's going to last 50 years. You know, the only benefit is roofing's going to keep going up. So if you have a $20,000 roof today, metal 60, in 15 years the metal roof's probably going to be 25 or 30. So, you know, by the time I get to the third one, it's, you know, 30, 35, whatever. It will offset itself, but I don't know if it's worth the cost. So that whole thing of going from 20 grand to 60 grand is a hell of a jump. You know, 40 grand is a lot, because part of my thought is, if I spent 40 grand on Tesla stock, and what would it do in 45 years, even 15 years, when it comes time to do the roof, and I sell the Tesla stock off enough to buy the roof, leaving their stuff, would it have grown enough to offset the cost difference of buying the roof all the time? That's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it up as, hey, I'm going to look into this as an investment in the stock market, as opposed to just a really expensive fancy roof that may not be able to be even insured, because the insurance company may change the rules and say you can't have that type of roof, you won't insure it anyway. So even though I got a roof that cost me 60 grand, they might not give me insurance, and then I'm screwed anyway. So just gonna stick with the traditional, the cheapest model, which again sold like $18,000 to $22,000 what my quotes were. So yeah, it's kind of a scary thing, but it is what it is. So went ahead and from there decided to go get my run in. Got my run done, got back from the run, everything was good. Went ahead, had some dinner, just leftovers. Had to go feed cats also, I forgot that this morning. I had to go feed 2 separate sets of cats. So I went and got them fed and all that stuff taken care of. Before my run, I went and fed the cats again. Both places. Got back to my wife. I said, you're welcome to eat whenever you want to, because I don't know when I'm gonna get done. So it's gonna take a while. So, because I can't go, the cats are kind of on a schedule. So went and got that done, got back, got my run in. And then sometimes I'll run and feed the cats in the same time, but I didn't this time because just the time frame, kind of a weird angle. And plus you're standing around somebody's house and stuff, you're all covered in sweat. The one set of cats, literally all I have to do is go in, feed, water, throw a couple treats to them, and then they don't even really want petted hardly ever. So I can just basically change the litter box and head out. But the other ones, I gotta kind of hang out there longer. The cats want petted and want played with, so I interact with them more, and I don't want to be there all sweaty and gross. Sitting in a house that she keeps air conditioned like 65 degrees, I'll freeze my butt off all sweaty. So definitely don't want to mess with that. But got that done, got my run in, got back, got a shower, grabbed some dinner, fed the puppy, and basically just chilled out for the evening. Then I headed back outside to watch a little bit of Hulu on the iPad, and started storming and raining again, which is always fun. So got that done. Roof didn't leak, thank goodness. So, but again, only leaked because the wind was blowing like from the north, which we hardly ever get northern winds. So that's the way the wind was blowing that caused the leak this time anyway. So, but the wind was blowing from the south, so I had virtually no wind problem with water. So I don't know if the patch helped or if it just is what it is. So, but yeah, we hung out, chatted a little bit and stuff afterwards, and just kind of watched an episode of Golden Girls with my wife, and then wrapped it up and called it a night. That's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.